Octave segmentation isn't the first feature to draw people into Harp Guru. In fact, you might not even know it's there or what it's doing. See what's happening here? What's that all about? Well, that's the octave segmentation feature, and mastering when to use this is going to help you get the most out of the other features of Harp Guru. So let's take a closer look. A traditional Richter-tuned harp has 3 complete octaves in it, and depending on how you're playing it, you might actually be dealing with 4 octaves, 2 complete and 2 partial. And when you're learning a long riff, you need to break it down into manageable chunks and then piece those chunks back together. And when there's a difficult technique in your riff, you isolate that technique and improve it enough to put it back into the context that it came from. Well, the same principle applies to studying harmonica theory and layout, and Harp Guru offers octave splitting as a tool to support you in this. The most basic example is when you're simply studying the harp face. Here we've got the notes of a second position major pentatonic highlighted. Well, if you're new to this, then it will make sense to just consider what we'd call the lower octave, with the notes from the 2-hole draw up to the 6-hole blow. Hopefully it's clear that just by adding these octave segmentations, it does make it easier for your human brain to focus on the task at hand. Chunking like this also helps the brain identify patterns more reliably. For example, we can already see that we're going to have a pretty easy time remembering the pattern to follow when we're ready to start including the middle octave, the whole 6 to 8. It's just a U shape, isn't it? That isn't so clear when we don't have the segmentations in place. And when it comes to using Harp Guru as a heads-up reference during improvisation, the segmentation can be a really powerful tool for encouraging you to venture across octaves constructively. We usually find that we're stronger in one octave than another, and if you find yourself playing a little 2 or 3 note phrase in the lower octave, it can be really nice to be able to just glance to the right and see where those notes are in the context of the next octave, to repeat it up there. So it's a great dynamic tool and something we can struggle to do with our mental models while it's still developing. Giving yourself the opportunity to just pull such a move out before you're really ready can be a great step on the path to becoming ready, and a really big confidence boost and loads of fun as well. When we come to quiz mode, the segmentation can help ease us into the task in 2 different ways. First of all, we can choose to just consider a single octave, let's say the lower octave now, and ignore the others. Or perhaps start taking a stab at them, but keep in mind that your goal is to be making improvements in the lower octave. The segmentation can help you stay focused on whether you're making improvements where you want to be. Now, that's a subtle bit of psychology, but I found it to be really effective. The other way it can help is that it simply is easier and much more effective to remember 3 or 4 chunks of patterns than to remember one big one. So remember the U shape we identified before between holes 6 and 8? Well, that's our shortcut to identifying any major pentatonic degree in the middle register. You can just count your way round to the relative number, and the more you get the positive feedback of getting that right, the more you'll be able to immediately associate the scale degree with exactly the right location, and the U-shaped shortcut, if that's what we're calling it, will just be a part of the many things your brain is using to model that chunk. It is really wonderful like that, your brain. So when might we not want to use octave segmentation? Well, the first is that ultimately the harp isn't segmented like this. So as soon as you understand enough about a particular position or scale to remove the segmentation, it can be really useful to do so. Removing segmentation in the quiz mode, for example, will step things up a level. If you've stitched all of those patterns together into a single block, then you'll swim, and if not, this is your chance. So also, because the segmentation shifts the locations of the holes around a bit, it can be disruptive to have segmentation on while you're performing comparisons between 2 different harp setups. Take the example, I always use something like this when demonstrating these, where we've got 3 screens showing us the major pentatonic scale in 2nd, 1st and 3rd positions, the point of which being it would be the 3 positions to follow in a 12-bar blues progression. Well, it's much easier for us to compare what's going on across these positions on a given hole, for example, when the segmentation is off. Let's look at the 2 draw, for example. In 2nd position, it's the root. In 1st, it's the 5th. And in 3rd, it's the 4th, which means that on the 5 chord, the 2 draw isn't even fulfilling a major pentatonic function. And you can draw your own conclusions from that, but the point remains that if we had the octave segmentation on, then this analysis would have been much harder to perform. So that's a little dive into what the octave segmentation feature is, what it's there for, and some ideas on how to use it alongside the other features. If you wanted to see more explanation on the quiz mode or the multi-page features we've just skipped over here, then check out the videos dedicated to those subjects, which I'll link in the description as soon as they're out. Octave segmentation is just one of a suite of completely unique features offered by Harp Guru. So if you like what you see, then prove it and go and download Harp Guru now from both the Android and iOS stores. But before you do that, do give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, and then go and download the app. I hope this video was useful. If you have any questions, you can contact me on the email address in the description, or just leave a comment here. In fact, leave a comment here anyway. Thank you for your comments.